When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, he will sit upon his glorious throne. Matthew 25 verses 31 to 34. Jesus reveals the great and final moment of history, when all nations stand before him, and the true king separates the sheep from the goats. This final glory is not an isolated event. It is the destination toward which the entire liturgical year guides us. From Advent, when we await the coming of the incarnate King, to Christmas, when he enters the world in humility, through ordinary time, where he teaches and heals, into Lent and Easter, where he suffers, dies, rises, and conquers sin, to Ascension and Pentecost, where he establishes his church, and finally to this solemn moment, the feast of Christ the King, the crowning truth of the entire year. This feast is not ancient. It was established in 1925 by Pope Pius XI at a time when the world was sliding into political chaos, secularism, and rising communist and fascist ideologies. Faith was mocked, nations rebelled against God, and human pride rose higher than ever. To correct the world and remind humanity of the only true sovereign, Pope Pius XI declared to the world, "Christ is King of the universe. All nations belong to him. Every soul is under his dominion. No society can flourish without his law." He quoted Pope Leo XIII, who proclaimed that Christ's reign extends not only over Catholics, not only over Christians, but over every human being, believers and non-believers alike. The Pope warned that when God's authority is removed from public life, society loses peace, order, and truth. But when Christ is truly recognized as King, publicly and personally, human life becomes ordered, free, and whole. Yet this feast is not only about nations. It is about your soul. Christ must not only reign in governments. He must reign in you. He shows us by his example. "I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of him who sent me." John 6 verse 38. If the Son obeyed the Father, then so must we. Only when we surrender, fully, freely, joyfully, can Christ govern our hearts as King. And when individual souls are ruled by Christ, society itself begins to reflect his kingdom. But when souls reject his rule, when people embrace ideologies that exclude God, they drift toward darkness, toward the kingdom of Satan. This feast became both a warning and an invitation in 1925. And in our time, as secularism grows even stronger, the message is even more urgent. Yet the feast also lifts our eyes to the future, to the day when Christ will return in glory, when heaven and earth will be made new, when the King will reign visibly, eternally, without rival or resistance. On that day, he will judge the world, resurrect the dead, and establish his kingdom forever. Until then, the Church calls us today, at the end of the liturgical year, to renew our loyalty, our obedience, and our love for the King who reigns now and forever. Prayer. My glorious King of the universe, your law is perfect, your reign is eternal, and your will is my peace. Reign in my heart, rule my mind, direct my choices, and make my life a living instrument of your kingdom. Use me to bring your light into the world. Jesus, I trust in you. The saint's path. Walk the way of holiness.